Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Well, welcome one and welcome all. I am Katie Petrick, as always, joined by David Fiorazzo.
Hello.
And we're going to head today to Homer, Georgia. And it's a crazy story of an elementary school principal and the school's gym teacher who are in deep trouble after they admitted that they actually, had sex in a school bathroom. And that's not even the worst of this basically soap opera of a story that we are about to unfold for all of you. David, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, the headline pretty much says it all. The principal had sex with gym teacher in the elementary school bathroom while his wife apparently recorded them. Oh. So, did we say elementary school? We've been doing a lot of elementary schools this week.
A lot of elementary school stories.
So, officials at the Banks County School District released a 6-page report detailing their findings after an independent internal review of ethical misconduct. We have a video. It's not the video of any action taking place or anything like that, so it's not. But
thank
it's just
goodness.
The story. Yeah, thank God. It's just a story to set this bizarre thing up. Go ahead.
State investigators are now looking into alleged sexual misconduct on the campus of Banks County Elementary School. It comes after the release of this 5-page Banks County Board of Education investigative report, which details a years-long alleged affair between the principal and a PE teacher.
That have never happened. It shows poor judgment.
Verdelia Turner is reacting to the report released to Fox 5. She's the president of the Georgia Federation of Teachers. The report says not only is there evidence to prove the relationship between Banks County Elementary School principal Dr. Dana Simmons and PE teacher Dylan Charles, but there's a photo that shows inappropriate sexual activity happened on campus. The report says Charles admitted he and Simmons routinely use the school to meet and engage in sexual activities, something Simmons denies. Third employee resigned Wednesday. She's identified as Kelsey Charles, a third-grade teacher at the school. According to the Board of Education report, she's married to Dylan Charles and told investigators she recorded sexual encounters between her husband and Simmons.
Oh my goodness. It makes you think, Katie Petrick, how much this is going on around the country where they're not actually taking photos or filming anything.
The ones who haven't gotten caught yet.
Yeah, they're still, they're sexualizing our children at the youngest of ages. They've got porn in the classrooms, hypersex ed going on in the curriculum, and and some of the students, the teachers apparently are acting this out. So this is an unfortunate story. All 3 resigned.
Of course they resigned.
Yes.
Because if they resign, then maybe they can still keep their license and maybe they can still get a job.
It won't be in their file, you mean?
This is the question moving forward.
Yeah.
What is going to happen to the 3 of them in terms of their contact then with the students? Now, obviously, we're not saying that they had anything to do inappropriately, like an inappropriate conduct with the students.
Right.
But the simple fact that they did this on school
At the school.
property.
You couldn't wait till the bell rang?
Maybe they waited till the bell rang, but then they just didn't leave campus to do this. We've had these types of stories happen many a time where, teachers have affairs outside of the school, which is bad enough. But to have the principal and the gym teacher and his wife, whatever, involved in this inside the actual building of the school. These people do not have your students' best interests at heart. They are just doing what they want, when they want, apparently where they want. They did not at all take into consideration the simple fact that they could possibly get caught in the physical location of where your students are.
Yep, that's a good point.
It puts a whole new level of carelessness for your children, and what the intent of these adults are supposed to be when they are at a school is to care for the children and educate the children. They were only caring about themselves.
But Katie, the bell rang. A Christmas Story reference. When the guy's got his tongue, the tongue stuck to the pole.
The
bell rang. Anyway, a statement from the school apparently. Let me do this, Katie. I'm getting good at it.
I believe in you.
I'm getting better. The safety and well-being of our students is always our first priority. The investigation into this event did not yield any indication that student safety or security was compromised.
Only the positioning of those people. Anyway, he was a physical education teacher. I'm just saying he would maybe know some things. What's weird, too, is when they actually talked to the wife, who, as we learned, was a third grade teacher.
Oh, boy.
She accused the principal, the other lady, she accused the principal then of manipulating both her and her husband. And she accused the principal, that's the wife, Mrs. Charles, accused the principal, Simmons, of pressuring her to allow her to have sex with her husband in exchange for helping their careers. And again, how is this not also
Is that
another
extortion
yeah,
or something like that?
Something like that. Is this not another indication that it's all about them and not at all thinking about the children? Because, I'm going to obviously let this happen because it's about my career. And so I'm going to let my husband, and everyone's at fault here, but in terms of Mrs. Charles making the statement, I'm going to let my husband have sex with the principal because the principal promised that she would help us advance our careers. What is she there to do? Is she there to educate third grade children, or is she there to advance her career to whatever that may mean?
And what kind of career? Because she is filming them apparently, or taking photos
maybe it's
of them.
which
what
career
kind of
are we?
career? Are they
career
getting
we
out of
advancing?
education?
There we go.
Okay, still to come. You're going to love this one, guys. The wife of Governor Gavin Newsom seems to be living the good life after earning $1.4 million charging public schools to screen her progressive documentary films on justice. Stay with us.
If you live in California, number one, I am sorry.
Yes.
I am sorry. But number two, you are well aware of the cost of living in that state. But the Newsoms, the Newsoms, they were able to get money from parents who are all across the country. Maybe they've bled dry all of the California residents, so now they're just taking their act on the road.
They found a creative way to
They've done it. Well, Governor Gavin Newsom and his wife, Jennifer Siebel Newsom, have estimated an $18 to $22 million in net worth. And within that, they earned $1.4 million by charging public schools to show Jennifer's documentaries. Watchdog group Open the Books reported that Jennifer's nonprofit, the Representation Project, raised $1.483 million in film licensing fees since 2012, and this is according to tax records. Now, Fox News reported that Siebel Newsom's nonprofit released 4 films for which she is credited as a writer and director advocating for gender justice. Siebel Newsom's gender identity films are produced through her for-profit operation. So she has a for-profit operation called Girls Club Entertainment, and that they then license to the nonprofit, the Representation Project, to the public schools. You see how this all works? Ha-ha! It goes through the system.
Well, I see the state funding that Newsom apparently signed or okayed, $128 billion for schools and community colleges. He signed that in 2022, and so his wife is capitalizing on that.
Well, yeah.
No corruption there. No connection.
There's a lot of money that is floated around with these California schools. California's getting, $128 billion in just state funding, and then
billion with a B, ladies and gentlemen.
And then they funnel all this other money around, and you see it's a whole operation. In case you couldn't tell. Anyway, the Representation Project claims that they fight sexism through films education, research, and activism. Let's just take a little sample. See.
Uh-oh.
When the family you're born into, the zip code where you're born, determines your destiny, that tears at the fabric of the American dream.
What we need is one fair wage. We want to work. No justice, no peace.
What we have to do as a society is stop being blind to history, stop being blind to systems. Understand that your privilege is actually built on my oppression.
We create inequalities by what we choose to value and what we choose to ignore.
It costs us a lot more to allow this level of poverty to exist than it would cost to fix it. But to fix it would require some empathy and compassion that America lacks.
what's at stake is fundamentally what America is about.
Well, that whole thing is a lie, but I mean,
Wow.
So I like that, Katie, what do you think about this? Your zip code determines your destiny. That means wherever you're born, you are stuck
It's
there.
your
And that's
destiny.
all you're ever going to become.
Yep. That makes perfect sense to me.
You can't move out of your zip
Can't
code.
do anything.
You
It's just,
can't-
that's it. That's
Yeah.
it. That's how it goes. Wow, that is some propaganda right there. But hey, there
It's
are...
pretty deep. Get
Yes.
the shovels for this.
There are 4 of these films. Misrepresentation. Get it? It's like misrepresentation.
Got
Like, get it? Like a single female. The Mask You Live In. That one is The Great American Lie. And then Fair Play. Wow. All of these titles were licensed to public schools in all 50 states, and Governor Gavin Newsom, a prospective presidential candidate, in case you weren't aware, appeared in at least 2 of the films that were screened.
Of course.
Open the Book said that the documentaries were licensed to individuals, corporations, and schools, and came with their own lesson plans. So yeah, we're definitely targeting the schools on this one if they're bringing in lesson plans, because there's nothing some of these teachers want more than just to be given lesson plans and have them be turned over then to the students.
That's right.
All in a day's work.
Your tax dollars hard at work, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, statistically speaking, roughly 2.6 million students have viewed the films.
Oh, dear Lord,
In
help us.
5,000 schools, which spent up to either like between like $50 and $600 to screen the films. Just a little bit more. I mean, if you from watching that, I think you got a good understanding of what these films probably all had. But one of the films, The Mask You Live In, features the website addresses of porn sites, including Pornhub, Massive Cams, BDSM.xxx, and
And the
Razors.
purpose
I don't
of
even know.
that, can you
The
explain?
pornographic images displayed in the film are tagged with descriptions such as domination, face, F word, kinky couples, and dirty brunettes. Again,
For
this
your
is
public
in
school
schools.
children, ladies and
2.6
gentlemen.
million
Yes.
students.
That's right.
2.6 million students. Coming from the governor of California's wife, who's made $1.4 million on this. If you haven't seen how this whole operation works yet in our country, then you've been living under a rock.
I'm just
Because
wondering what the point
This is the
is.
machine. This is the machine that they have created.
For this one, okay, the film seems to justify this harmful content by saying 34% of youth online receive unwanted pornographic exposure. It's like, are they they did all that to try to make this point?
I don't know. This is the content of these videos. You know, they're gonna show the kids what the kids don't want or need, but go California. That's how they do. Well, either way, coming up in a hilarious twist of irony, the University of Chicago has invited failed Democrats Beto O'Rourke and Tim Ryan to deliver college lectures on the topic of American politics.
Jeez.
This is gonna be fun.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
When you take a college class, who do you want teaching you? You want the best. You want the brightest. So we are not going to give you that in the United States of America at universities in 2023. Instead, at the University of Chicago, you are stuck in bringing in the 5th string. Not even the 2nd string or the 3rd or the 4th string. You're got like 5th string down the line because you get 2 failed Democratic political candidates. We're bringing their expertise to the Institute of Politics for the winter and spring seminars. Robert, Beto O'Rourke, and Tim Ryan are going to be on that list of speakers for you. Both of these gentlemen have attempted to win the 2020 president primary for the Democrats. Both of them clearly failed.
Yep.
Then Beto also lost the governor's race in Texas in 2022. But also don't forget 4 years prior, he lost the Senate race to Ted Cruz. So to recap,
What do you call a man that loses continually?
well, a lady would be vice president of the United States currently, but a man apparently is just Beto O'Rourke.
Loser.
Loser. Yes. So 3 times he has lost, and every time he lost even more. So he officially has gone for
possible.
senator, governor, and president and has failed miserably. And then you have Tim Ryan, who also lost to a political outsider, J.D. Vance, to be one of Ohio's senators. So he's lost for being the Senate and president. And so clearly these 2 failures were chosen for the Pritzker Fellowships and will lead seminars on various topics for the Institute of Politics.
Really?
Now, this story, the College Fix actually reported on, and they asked Karan Addo, who's the director of communications for the IOP, Institute of Politics, what specific criteria or qualifications led to O'Rourke and Ryan being selected or targeted for recruitment. Now, Addo deferred to the IOP website because I'm guessing couldn't come up with actual reasoning. So we're just going to go off of what we're supposed to be choosing for these speakers. And it says on the website, criteria to become a Pritzker Fellow include the applicant's background in politics or public service, as well as an ability, doesn't say inability, it says an ability, to work well with students, faculty, and the fellows cohort. Fellows are chosen via our online application process and through targeted recruitment. So what you're telling me is O'Rourke and Ryan now are at this point in their lives. They can't win in politics, so they're seeking out to try and talk to college kids and get paid that way. That's
Sure. They're getting
it's
paid.
the revolving door that is politics and business and the university system. It's just they just keep going around and around and around. Now the class. Actually, itself of like how is this seminar that they're having, like how is it structured? It says while on campus, Pritzker Fellows lead weekly non-credit discussion seminars on issues of local, national, and international importance. These 75-minute off-the-record sessions are student only. When they put that phrase out, that's what really intrigued me. I get, okay, yeah, it should be non-credit.
Interesting.
It really should be non-credit. They should not be receiving college credit for this. This is more of kind of like an outside thing, like pick the brain, kind of like, hey, let's have good discussions. But the fact that it says off-the-record sessions are student only makes me wonder, oh, is this just the recruitment of the next generation of political, I guess, failures in the case of the leaders that they picked? It's weird to me that they phrased it in such a way.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's interesting, too, that what is Roberto is his name? Beto?
Roberto.
What is he famous for? Well, for being handpicked, a handpicked liberal, progressive, socialist, Democrat, whatever you want to call him, maybe all of the above, and funded from all kinds of left-wing outlets across the country to run for political office and lose. That's what he's famous for, because left-wing money propelled him just to get his name out there. Even though he lost, they made him. The left made him, so I think he feels he owes them. But yeah, this is really interesting. I wonder if it's a front or a smokescreen for something else.
Exactly.
You've got that lingo. I think that's a good point.
It's just
Katie.
weird to me that they say that it's off the record sessions are student only.
So
as
if they
if
say
it's like
anything
they're
that's
huddled.
offensive, it's off the record.
It's like they're huddled somewhere. Now, Anthony Fowler, who is a public policy professor at the University of Chicago, said that although there have probably been more fellows from the political left than the right, shocker, he believes the program gives students the opportunity to learn from and make connections with these prominent and accomplished individuals. Maybe that's true for some of the other people. Again, it's not just Beto and Tim Ryan who are there, but
the others are accomplished.
They
something.
may be accomplished at something, but those two, what are they accomplished at doing other than losing? How to lose properly.
Is that the L?
I mean, Hillary could be in there too. Now, Fowler said that former members of Congress are not, by and large, academic scholars. Really? Beto O'Rourke, not an academic scholar. And we're bringing them to campus for reasons largely unrelated to their intellectual contributions. I believe that one. So students should not think of IOP events as substituting for their work in the classroom. Okay, so that's the whole non-credit part, which obviously is true. But you saw there were other people who were part of being the fellows, but the program actually began back in 2013, and they've had almost 200 fellows. Now, some of the former Pritzker fellows include Anthony Blinken. I've heard of that name before. Oh, yes, he's the current Secretary of State and former National Security Advisor to President Barack Obama.
Of course.
Michael Morrell, former acting director of the CIA under Obama, and Vox reporter. Not Fox, Vox with a V. Because if you've ever read articles on that left-wing rig. Anyway, Jane Coaston. Now, conservative fellows have included former Illinois Congressman Pete Roscom and commentator Mary Catherine Ham.
And I think you need to put conservative in air quotes possibly for the two of them. But that's just one take.
That's just one hot take right here.
Yep.
Anyway, we have some very important things to get to.
Yes. I hear something buzzing.
It's almost time here for our latest Babylon Bee headlines coming up next.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
All right, before we wrap up this show for today, let's take a look at everyone's favorite satire site, the Babylon Bee.
Here are this week's top 5 Babylon Bee headlines.
Well, we've picked our favorite headlines, and now we'll decide which one should be named Queen of the Hive. We start with State of the Union will be just 90-minute broadcast of dumpster engulfed in flames. Next, Silver Alert, lost old man seen yelling on Capitol grounds. Next, Biden announces increased spending on Smørrebrød, rustmuffers, and blab trussels. Next, feminists criticize woman for interrupting man. And finally, AOC insists there are no hysterectomies performed on minors because most of them are too busy in the mines. Gosh. Katie, your top pick of the week.
I spent my last Tuesday having to watch the State of the Union. I know, you are welcome. I sat through that torture, so you didn't have
to. That's right.
And
Thank you.
Obviously, I understand all of the references. And yes, obviously, my favorite headline has to be that Biden announces increased spending on Smørrebrød, rustmuffins, and blab trussels. Because it was sad to see.
Did he say those words? Or those?
He doesn't know if he said those words.
He said he could have said
They sounded like those words.
Sounded like, yeah.
I would say almost every line that he did say had a... You could not understand what he said. And the worst one was when he was talking about prescription drugs and that he would veto anything if he could not say prescription drugs. There is no way you would know what he said unless you had the script, which I had his script next to me when I was watching it. It was sad, but that headline was hilarious.
Yeah, wait till he's reelected, though. Then he'll be even harder to understand the next 4 years. I'm kidding. I have a theory on that. But my favorite was the dumpster fire. The dumpster engulfed in flames. I mean, the whole State of the Union, it was just one lie fest. And just boasting of things they really didn't accomplish, but making you believe that America's a much better place because the Democrat socialists are in charge. So,
well, it's certainly not great again, because if you would say it was great again, you wouldn't be allowed to that. But they did say that it was great again under them. So then it's okay to say...
Democrats are making it great again?
I don't know. I'm very confused.
I thought they had to build back better, but before they built back better, they have to destroy it. Anyway.
The dumpster.
That's going to wrap up our top headlines of the week. More satire next time.
All right. Well, if you are a fan of our show, please, hey, like the video, comment on the video, share the video if you're watching us on social media. For David and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting this show. Until next time, stay educated.